Many weeks passed after the fight with the overseers. The village had changed. New homes were built. New gardens grew. The people smiled more. Children laughed in the open fields. The fear that once filled the air was gone. Jason walked through the village every morning. He greeted everyone by name. He helped carry wood, fix fences, and teach small children about earth tools. He felt more than welcome. He felt needed. Ilari stood beside him each day. She helped lead the village. People respected her. When someone had a problem, they came to her and Jason. Together, they guided with care and calm. Nira grew taller. Her words became sharper and her mind quicker. She helped teach the younger ones and was never far from Jason or Ilari. One day, a group of travelers arrived. They had heard of the battle and the strange human who helped the villagers win. They came with open hands, not weapons. "We want to learn from you," one traveler said. "We want to be strong like you." Jason and Ilari welcomed them. They offered food, shelter, and stories. Soon, more people came. Survivors from other villages. All wanted peace and safety. The small village became a growing place. Tents were raised. New homes were made. A school was built from stone and wood. Jason helped design it. One evening, Jason sat with Ilari and Nira under a large tree. The stars were bright above. "This place is becoming something new," Jason said. "It is because of you," Ilari replied. "Because of us," he corrected her. Nira smiled. "I used to be afraid, but now I am not. We are not alone anymore," Jason nodded. "And we will never be again." He sent one last message to Earth. It said, "I have found peace. I stay by choice. I ask only to send aid, not orders. Respect this new life." Weeks later, a reply came. It was short and simple. Understood. Earth will honor your choice. Jason smiled when he read it. He showed it to Ilari. "They accept," he said. "Then the future is ours to build," Ilari said. With time, the village grew into a small town. Roads were built. A council formed. Jason and Ilari led with wisdom. Nira joined the council when she was old enough. She spoke with strength and kindness. Jason still remembered the day he crashed on this world. He had thought it was the end. But it had become a beginning. One day, Nira brought him a gift. It was a smooth stone, like the one he had given her long ago. This one had many marks. "Each mark is a person you've helped," she said. "Each line is a life you touched." Jason held the stone tight. "Thank you. This means more than I can say." Ilari placed her hand on his. "You gave us hope. You gave us a future." Jason looked around. At the children playing. At the new buildings. At the green fields. He had not saved the world. But he had saved a part of it. And that was enough. As the sun set, Jason stood at the top of the hill. He watched the stars appear. One by one, he smiled. Because in a world far from Earth, with people he once did not know, he had found family. He had found home. And most of all, he had found love that would never fade. The human who came from the sky was now a part of the land. Forever. Jason was fixing the roof when he heard a deep sound in the distance. It was low, heavy, and strange. He stopped working and looked toward the hills. Birds flew up from the trees. Something was coming. Ilari came out of the house. She looked worried. "That sound. It is not thunder," Jason nodded. "It's a ship." But not from Earth. They gathered the villagers. Jason stood before them. "A new ship is landing. I don't know who it is yet, but we must be ready." Ilari held Nira close. Jason checked his tools and traps. He had used most of his gear in the last fight, but he still had some power cells and sharp wires. By afternoon, a dark ship came into view. It was larger than the Earth patrol ship. Its wings spread wide, and the metal was black with red lights. It landed in the open field near the old crash site. Jason and Ilari walked to the edge of the trees to watch. A group of tall armored beings stepped out. Their faces were hidden behind masks. They carried weapons. Overseers. Ilari said. Her voice shook. They ruled this planet once, cruel and powerful. Jason watched as they scanned the land. They picked up the signal too, he said. The overseers began to move toward the village. Jason ran back and told the people to hide. He set traps around the main path and placed sharp stones near the gates. Ilari stood with him. We will not run. This is our home. Jason nodded. We fight, but we fight smart. The overseers reached the edge of the village. One of them spoke in a loud voice. Give us the human. He does not belong here. Jason stepped forward. I belong more than you do. Leave now, or you will face all of us. The leader raised his weapon. You are weak. Jason pressed a small button in his hand. A hidden trap snapped shut, catching one of the overseers by the leg. The others jumped back. The villagers threw fire jars. Ilari led a group from the side. Jason ran forward with a stick wrapped in sharp wire. He hit one of the invaders hard. The overseers were strong, but they did not expect the villagers to fight back. The people used stones, spears, and courage. Jason fought beside Ilari, covering each other. Nira stayed in a hidden room with other children, holding a small whistle in case of danger. The battle lasted a long time. Smoke filled the air. 2 villagers were hurt, but the overseers were losing. Jason managed to pull the mask off one of them. The creature hissed and ran. The others followed. The leader was the last to go. He looked at Jason. This is not over. Jason stood firm. You are not welcome here. The dark ship lifted into the sky and disappeared. After the fight, the people cheered. Ilari sat on the ground, breathing hard. We did it, she said. Jason nodded. Together, they helped the injured and put out small fires. The village was damaged, but not broken. Later that night, Jason sat with Ilari and Nira near the fire. You look tired but proud. You were brave, he said to Ilari. We protected our life, she said, and we will again if we must. Nira climbed onto Jason's lap. They were scary, but I wasn't afraid, because you were there. Jason hugged her. I will always be here. The villagers came to thank him. One old woman placed her hand on his shoulder. You are one of us now, not just in name, but in spirit. Jason looked at the people around him. He saw strong hearts and hopeful eyes. He had never felt this way before. Ilari smiled at him. You have given us more than safety. You gave us courage. Jason looked at the stars above. This world is not perfect, he said, but it is worth fighting for. The wind was quiet now. The fire crackled gently, and the stars watched over them all. Jason closed his eyes and felt peace, knowing they had made it through the storm, and tomorrow was theirs to shape. The days after the small wedding were calm. The sun shone gently, and the wind carried the smell of fresh soil. Jason woke up each morning with purpose. He was no longer a visitor. He was part of the village, part of a family. He worked on rebuilding. The garden with Ilari, they planted new seeds. Nira helped water the plants and sang songs while doing it. Jason showed them how to make a fence using parts from his broken ship. One morning, while checking the edge of the woods, Jason found a small device blinking. It was his signal beacon. Somehow, it had sent out a message. Jason picked it up. A weak message played through it. Survivor beacon detected. Earth Patrol en route. He froze. Earth Patrol. A ship from his world was coming. Maybe to rescue him. He went back to Ilari and told her. You can go home, she said softly. Jason looked at her. This is home now. Still, he knew he had to be ready. The Earth Patrol might not understand. They might try to take him away. They will ask questions, Jason said. They may not trust what they see. We will show them we are peaceful, Ilari said. We will welcome them. Nira looked worried. They won't take you away, right? Jason knelt beside her. Not if I can help it. A few days later, the Earth ship came. It was small, white and gray, with the Earth flag on the side. It landed far from the village, near the place where Jason first crashed. 2 humans came out. One was a woman with dark hair. The other was a tall man with a metal arm. Jason walked out to meet them. "I'm Jason Moore. I was lost. I found something better." They looked at him closely. The man said, "We picked up your signal. We came to bring you home." Jason shook his head. "I already have a home." The woman asked, "Who are these people?" Jason told them everything about the crash, the village, the attack, Alari and Nira, the marriage. The 2 looked surprised. "You married an alien?" the man asked. "Yes," Jason said. "She saved me as much as I saved her." The woman looked toward the village. "We need to speak with them." Jason led them there. The villagers watched from a distance. Alari stood tall. Nira at her side. Jason introduced everyone. The Earth team spoke carefully. They asked questions. The villagers answered with respect. The visitors stayed 2 days. They checked the crash site. They studied the land. They watched how the people lived. At night, Jason sat with Alari. "Do you think they will let you stay?" she asked. "I will stay no matter what," he said. "They can go back and tell Earth that I made my choice." The next morning, the Earth team met with Jason. "You are free to stay," the woman said, "but Earth will want to know more." "They will send others," Jason nodded. "Then send people who come in peace. We want no war." The man smiled. "You built something rare here. We will tell them." Before they left, the woman gave Jason a small device. "This will let you send a message if you ever change your mind." Jason took it, but placed it in a box. He had no plans to use it. After the ship flew away, the village cheered. Alari hugged Jason tight. Nira jumped with joy. "You are really staying," Nira said. "I told you," Jason said. "You're my family now." Life slowly returned to normal. Jason and Alari taught the village new ways to build. Nira learned to write Earth words and numbers. Jason made books for her from tree bark and old paper. One evening, Jason watched Nira run through the field. Alari stood beside him. "She is growing stronger," he said. "Because she feels safe," Alari replied. Jason looked at the sky. The stars above were different than Earth's, but they didn't matter anymore. He had come from a place far away. He had lost everything in the crash, but he had gained something far greater. A new life, a new love, a new home. And as the night came, he knew he had chosen the right path. The sun rose slowly over the quiet village. Smoke from the battle still hung in the air, but the fires had gone out. The people were safe. Jason stood outside the house, watching the trees. Alari came to him. Her arm was wrapped in cloth, but she walked strong. "You should rest," she said. Jason shook his head. "Too much to do. They could come again." Alari nodded. "But not today. You gave them fear. That will keep them away for a while." Nira joined them, holding a bowl of fruit. "We won," she said, smiling. Jason smiled back. "Yes, we won." Later that day, villagers came to help rebuild the homes. Jason and Alari worked with them. They shared food, stories, and laughter. Some of the people brought gift stools, cloth, even seeds for planting. Jason saw hope in their faces. One evening, Alari sat with Jason by the fire. Nira had fallen asleep near them. "You have changed this place," she said. "I just helped," Jason answered. Alari looked at him. "You did more than help. You gave us a reason to stand, a reason to believe." Jason looked into her eyes. He felt something warm, something deep. "Do you still think about what Nira asked me?" he asked. Alari looked away for a moment, then back at him. "Yes, but I didn't want to push." You didn't," Jason said. "But I've been thinking about it too." She waited, silent. "I came here by accident. I lost my way. But maybe I found something better than what I had," he said. Alari took his hand gently. "And what do you want now, Jason?" He looked at her then, at Nira sleeping peacefully. I want to stay. If you want me to. Alari's eyes grew soft. Yes, I want that. They sat together in silence, watching the fire. The next morning, Jason carved a new stone. This time, he added a fourth mark, a symbol from his world, something simple to mean love and promise. He gave it to Alari. This is my answer, he said. Held the stone close. Then she kissed his cheek. They decided to hold a small ceremony. Not the same as a human wedding, and not fully like Alari's traditions, but something new. Something just for them. Nira danced around, helping prepare. She made small crowns from bright flowers. She placed one on Jason's head and laughed. Now you look like a forest king, she said. Jason smiled. Only if your mom is my queen. Alari stood nearby, smiling too. They held the ceremony at sunset. The villagers gathered. There was no priest or book, just words from the heart. Jason spoke first. I promise to protect you, to stand with you, and to care for you both. Not because I have to, but because I want to, Alari spoke next. I accept you into my life. I promise to share my path with you, to grow with you, and to build something strong. They touched hands, and the crowd cheered quietly. Nira hugged them both. Now we are real family, she said. Later, they shared food and music. The village sang old songs. Jason didn't know the words, but he clapped along. After the celebration, Alari and Jason sat outside the house. The stars were bright above. You never expected this life, did you? Alari asked. Not at all, Jason said. But it feels right. She leaned on his shoulder. We have many days ahead. Hard ones, maybe, but we are not alone anymore. Jason looked at the sky. For the first time since he crashed, he didn't think about Earth. He thought about what came next, what they could build together. The fire near them crackled softly. Inside, Nira slept with a smile on her face. Jason held Ilari's hand and felt peace. He had come from a world far away, but now he had a home. And in that moment, he knew that this was where he was meant to be. Jason woke up to strange sounds. It was still dark outside. He grabbed the small tool he kept near his bed and moved quietly to the door. He looked through a crack in the wood. Shapes moved between the trees. Shadows. Jason stepped outside slowly. He saw tracks in the dirt. Not from Alari or Nira. Something else had come close during the night. He walked around the house, checking the traps. One was tripped, but empty. Whatever it was, it had escaped. He returned inside and sat by the fire. Ellery woke up soon after. What is it? She asked. We had visitors, Jason said. No harm done, but they were close. Alari's face grew serious. Scouts, they always come first. Jason nodded. Then we need to be ready. He and Alari spent the morning checking the traps. They added more around the garden and near the back path. Jason used wires from his broken ship to make alarms. Nira helped by carrying sticks and stones. While working, Ellery spoke quietly. If they come in numbers, we cannot fight them alone. Jason looked at her. Are there others nearby? Some, she said. But they hide. They are afraid. Then maybe we can give them hope, Jason said. If we fight, maybe they will join us. Alari did not answer, but she looked thoughtful. That night, Jason placed his beacon on a high tree. It still didn't send far, but maybe someone would hear. Then he stayed awake, watching the edge of the trees dot in the early morning. Movement returned. Jason saw eyes glowing in the dark. He waited. Then a small stone hit the ground near the house. Jason jumped up. The alarm wires clinked softly. He ran to Ilari and Nira and told them to stay low. Then he crept outside. A shadow ran at him. Jason stepped to the side and pushed it down. He raised his tool but stopped. The figure was young, a teenage alien, scared and thin. Please, the boy said, don't hurt me. Jason pulled him up. Why are you here? They told us to watch, the boy said. To see if the human had weapons. Who sent you? Jason asked. "The Bone Clan," he whispered. "They come tomorrow." Jason let him go. "Tell them we are ready." The boy ran back into the trees. Jason returned inside. "They come tomorrow," he told Ilari. She nodded. "Then tonight we prepare." They worked until dark. Ilari showed Jason an old room under the floor. It was a hidden space used long ago to store weapons. Most were broken, but some could be fixed. Jason used his ship tools to make simple bombs. Ilari sharpened old blades. Nira helped make fire jars from oil and cloth. Before sleep, Jason sat with Nira. "You are brave," he said. "Like you," she replied. "Like Mom," Jason smiled. "Stay close to her tomorrow, no matter what." The next morning was quiet, too quiet. Then the wind changed. They heard footsteps. Shapes appeared at the village edge. 10, maybe 12. All carried sharp weapons. Their leader was tall, with scars across his face. Jason stepped forward. "Go back," he said. The leader laughed. "This is not your land, Skyman. You leave or die." Jason said nothing. He pressed a button on his wrist. A loud bang exploded near the trees. Smoke rose. The raiders stopped. The leader growled, "Attack!" They charged. Jason threw fire jars. Flames rose. Ilari stood beside him, swinging her blade. They fought side by side. Nira stayed hidden below. Jason blocked the blade and pushed his. "Attack her back." Ilari moved fast, striking with skill. They were outnumbered, but they were strong. Then, from the hills, more shapes appeared. Not raiders, villagers. Others who had hidden now came with tools and sticks. They joined the fight. The raiders, surprised and outnumbered, began to fall back. The leader tried to run, but Jason caught him. "Tell the Bone Clan," Jason said. "This village is not weak." He let him go. The raiders fled into the forest. The village was safe. For now, Jason sat on the ground, breathing hard. Ilari sat beside him. She had a small cut, but she smiled. "You gave them hope," she said. "We did," Jason answered. Villagers gathered around them. They offered thanks. One old man said, "We thought we were alone." Jason looked at Ilari and Nira. "Not alone," he said. "Not anymore." That night, the stars above looked brighter. Jason held Nira in his arms as she slept. Ilari leaned beside him. They had fought together. They had won. And something deep inside Jason told him this was only the beginning. Jason woke up early. The sun on this planet was pale yellow. It gave the sky a soft glow. He stepped outside the small home and stretched. Birds with 4 wings flew past him. He smiled a little. Inside, Ilari was making something over a small fire. The smell was sweet and warm. Nira was already awake, humming a quiet tune. "Good morning," Jason said. Nira ran to him and hugged his arm. Ilari gave him a small nod and handed him a wooden bowl. He took it and sat down. They ate quietly. Jason thought about his ship. It was far, but he still needed to see if he could fix the beacon. He needed to send a signal in case someone came looking for him. After breakfast, he told Ilari about his plan to check the ship. "It is dangerous," she said. "I will be careful," he answered. Nira wanted to go with him, but Ilari said no. Jason promised to return by evening. He walked back to the crash site. The trees whispered in the wind. He felt watched but saw nothing. At the ship, he found the beacon still broken. He worked for hours, using what tools he had. Suddenly, he heard movement. He stood up quickly. A group of creatures stood at the edge of the clearing. They were not human. Their skin was dark green and their eyes glowed red. They watched him but didn't come closer. Jason didn't move. He kept his hands low, not showing fear. After a few minutes, the creatures walked away. Jason let out a deep breath. He finished his work and started back. The beacon still didn't work, but he had tried. As he walked, he thought about Ilari's words. This place had danger, but it also had kindness. When he returned, Nero ran to him. "You're back." "Of course," he smiled. "I said I would be." Alari looked relieved. She offered him water and sat beside him. "There are watchers near the ship," he told her. "Scavengers," she said. "They take what they want." Jason nodded. "We should be ready." That night, he helped Ilari make stronger doors. They tied up the windows. He showed her how to build small traps around the house. "You fight like a soldier." Ilari said. "I was trained," Jason said. "Back on Earth." She looked at him for a long moment. "I am glad you came." Days passed. Jason taught Nira simple Earth words. She laughed as she learned. He made her small wooden toys. She gave him flowers in return. Ilari began to smile more. She spoke of her village before the war. She had once been a teacher. Her mate was taken in the first attack. Nira was all she had left. Jason listened. He shared stories of Earth, mountains, oceans, animals. Ilari listened with quiet wonder. One evening, Nira asked him again, "Will you marry my Mao?" Jason looked at Ilari. She looked down, not speaking. "That's a big question," Jason said. "She is lonely," Nira said. "And she likes you?" Jason didn't answer right away. That night, he thought hard. This was not his world, but it felt more and more like home. The next morning, Jason helped Ellery fix the water line that ran into the garden. They worked side by side in silence. Later, he found a smooth stone and carved 3 small lines into it. He gave it to Nira. "One for you, one for your mother, one for me. We are a team now." Nira smiled wide. She showed it to Ilari. That evening, Ilari came to Jason. She held the stone. "In our way," she said. "This is a sign. It means we are one." Jason nodded. It felt right. She placed the stone on the table and sat beside him. "I do not ask you for marriage like Nira does," she said. "But I'm thankful you are here." Jason looked at her. "If it keeps you safe and makes Nira happy, maybe I should think about it more." "Seriously," Ilari said nothing, but her eyes softened. Jason felt warmth in his chest. Outside, the stars blinked in the sky. Jason thought about Earth again, but only for a moment. Then he looked at Ilari and Nira. This strange world, this little. Family might be the place he was meant to be. The next morning came with golden light. It was brighter than any day before. The sky above the station was clear. Kyle stood outside, holding his scanner. The signal was strong. The rescue ship was near. Lyra sat by the console inside. She looked at the blinking screen, her eyes full of wonder. Her hands gently touched the lights. She didn't speak, but her heart beat faster with hope. Kyle stepped back inside. "They'll be here soon," he said. Lyra stood and walked to the window. She looked up. "I want to see the ship." "You will," Kyle said, smiling. "Let's get ready." They packed their few things. The blanket, some tools, and the little blinking light Lyra had made. Kyle looked around the old station one last time. It had been their shelter, their place of survival. But now it was time to move. A soft hum filled the air. Lyra ran to the door. "It's here!" The ship came down slowly from the sky. It was larger than the one that picked them up before. Its silver wings spread wide, and blue lights flashed from its sides. The ground shook as it landed. The doors opened. Claire stepped out again, this time with 2 other people. They all wore clean suits. One man carried a small device. Another held a bag of supplies. Claire waved. "Hello again." Kyle and Lyra walked toward them. Claire smiled at Lyra. "Are you ready for your new home?" Lyra looked at Kyle. He nodded. "Yes," she said. They entered the ship together. Inside, it was warm and bright. The walls were smooth, the lights gentle. It felt like another world. They were shown to a room with soft chairs and screens. Claire sat with them. "We'll arrive at the central station in a few hours," she said. It's a peaceful place. There are other alien children there. It's safe. Lyra looked unsure. Will they be like me? Some might be, Claire said kindly. Some are different, but all are welcome. Kyle held Lyra's hand. You'll be okay. I'll stay with you. Claire looked at Kyle. We've talked with the council. After reading your report and seeing Lyra's actions, they agree. You can become her guardian. Kyle felt a wave of relief. Thank you. Lyra looked up at him. You stay? I stay, he said. Always. The ship flew fast through space. Lyra watched stars flash past the window. She had never seen space like this. It was beautiful. When they landed, the station was huge. White towers rose high, and wide glass halls stretched across the sky. People and aliens moved calmly through the space. No one ran. No one shouted. Kyle and Lyra were led through the halls. Every room they passed had smiling faces. Some children played with toys. Others drew pictures on glowing walls. Teachers spoke gently. Lyra's eyes grew wide. It's pretty, Claire nodded. This will be your new home. There's a room ready for both of you. And if you want, you can learn to build, to read, even fly small ships. Lyra looked at Kyle. Can I really? Kyle nodded. Yes, you can do anything now. In their room, there were 2 beds, a table, and a window that looked out into space. Lyra ran to the window and pressed her hands against it. Stars blinked back at her. That night, they sat on the beds, tired but happy. I was alone before, Lyra said, but not anymore. No, Kyle said, never again. She held out her small hand. He took it. From that day forward, Kyle. And Lyra built a new life. Lyra made friends. She learned fast. Her power with machines grew stronger. Teachers were amazed by her. Kyle worked nearby, helping the station team. But every evening, he returned to Lyra. They ate together, laughed together, and talked about dreams. Lyra still had memories of the dark planet. Sometimes she woke up from those dreams. But Kyle was always there to calm her. You're safe. He would say, you're home. And slowly, those dreams faded. Jason Moore looked out the cracked window of his small ship. The sky was a strange mix of purple and green. Smoke rose from the back of the craft. He had crash-landed on an unknown planet. The navigation system had failed hours ago. Now he was stuck. He checked his supplies. Not much was left. Some food, water, and one working tool. He sighed and opened the hatch. The air was breathable, warm, and full of strange smells. He stepped outside slowly. The land around him was quiet. Trees with blue leaves waved gently in the wind. The ground was soft, covered in moss. Jason walked carefully. He needed to find shelter and send a signal. He kept his eyes open. After walking for about an hour, he heard a noise. It sounded like crying. He followed the sound and found a small figure sitting near a broken wall. It was a child, but not human. Her skin was light purple. Her eyes were large and silver. She looked at him, scared but curious. Hello, Jason said softly. The girl didn't speak. She stared at him for a long moment. Then she stood and pointed toward the hills. Jason followed her. They walked in silence until they reached a village, or what was left of it. Many homes were burned and broken. It looked like a battle had happened here. Only one house stood strong. The girl led him there. Inside, he met a woman. She was tall and graceful. Her skin was the same color as the girl's. She wore simple clothes and held a long stick, ready to defend. Her eyes locked on Jason. I mean no harm, Jason said, holding up his hands. The woman didn't reply at first. Then she spoke in a soft voice. You are from the sky. Yes, Jason answered. My ship crashed. I'm looking for help. The girl tugged on the woman's hand. Please let my mom human. She's all I have left, the girl said. Jason blinked, surprised. You didn't know what to say. The woman looked embarrassed and turned away. My name is Alari, she said quietly. I'm Jason, he replied. Alari motioned for him to sit. She gave him a cup of warm liquid. It tasted sweet and calming. The girl sat close, still watching him with hopeful eyes. He stayed that night in the house. The next day, he helped fix the roof. He learned the girl's name was Nira. She was full of questions. She wanted to know about Earth, animals, and why he had come. Jason explained what he could in simple words. Nira listened carefully. Alari watched him, but spoke little dot as days passed. Jason helped more. He found clean water, hunted small animals, and repaired broken tools. He started to feel useful. He asked Ilari what had happened to the village. She told him a war had come. Most of the people were gone. Only a few were left, hiding. Ilari and Nira had survived by luck and hiding well. Why did your daughter ask me to marry you? Jason asked one evening. Ilari looked away. Without a mate. I am weak in the eyes of the patrols. They may take us. Or worse, Jason understood. It was not just about love. It was about safety. About having someone to stand with. He didn't know what to do yet, but he felt something growing inside. A feeling of care for both Ilari and Nira. He had come to this world by accident, but now he had a reason to stay. The night was quiet. Jason looked up at the stars, thinking of Earth. He missed home, but also felt something new. He was needed here. The next morning, Nira ran to him with a drawing she made. It showed the three of them together. She smiled brightly. Jason smiled back. Maybe fate had brought him here for a reason. Maybe this broken village could be home. She became more than just a survivor. She became a builder, a thinker, a bright light among others. And Kyle, the man who once searched for broken things, had found something precious. A child who became his world. They had come from darkness. Together, they had found the stars.